Today, we're going to be doing something a little bit different. I'm on vacation, so I thought it would be fun to take a journey through a few of my most frequently used coloring books and take a look at the good, the bad, and quite frankly, the ugly. Some of them turn out fabulously. They get their own video, I'm really happy with them, while others get half colored and then quietly tucked away, never to be seen or heard from again. Until today. Hello colorists, welcome to PencilStash, a weekly show all about coloring. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing to get all the new content, and be sure to hit that like button if you're enjoying my videos. So first off, I'd like to thank a viewer named Michelle who sent me this video idea. I thought it was a great opportunity to talk about something that we don't really cover very often, which is artistic confidence. At all skill levels, you get artwork that turns out great and artwork that you never want to see the light of day. It happens to me all the time. So as you go through your own coloring journey, try not to get discouraged. Either push through and finish the page or push it aside and start over. Learn from the experience, but don't dwell on the negative. Now this first book is called Everything Beautiful, and I only did a couple in here, but let's open this up. All right, I used this page to test out some chalk markers that I was sent. So this page is a combo of colored pencils and those chalk markers, which are those little metallic dots and dashes. And I really like how this one came out. I genuinely think it sparked my love for adding little dots and dashes to my artwork. Maybe I did Morse code telegraphs or something in a past life. I just love them so much. Now this one never saw the light of day, not because I didn't like it, but because something happened to my camera or my SD card, I don't remember which, while I was recording, so all my footage was lost. So that's always a bummer, and it makes it worse because most times I only realize it after the fact, after the artwork is all done, and then it's too late. So that is it for this book. The next one is Color the Rainforest by Marty Woods. Now, I like the odd, kind of atypical artwork in this book. It's definitely something different, but something about the paper made it not so fun to color in, so I abandoned a lot of these pretty quickly. And this page I did years ago when I was challenging myself to use nothing but the Crayola Twistables pencil. Now, I love me some Crayolas, but these were not my favorite, and I think the finished product shows it. So here's two pages again that I never finished. I had honed in on this kind of turquoisey color palette that I really liked, and I did a few bits on each page, but I was never really feeling it. I even tried twice. Now, I know I did some other pages from this book, but I think I tore them out for whatever reason because this book has perforations, and I love coloring books with perforations. It makes them so much easier to tear the pages out, share them, do whatever you want with them. Love the perforations. Next book is Enchanted Forest by Joanna Basford, and this book was one of my early entry coloring books into adult coloring. Now my daughter and I colored the heck out of this one, and many of the pages in here are actually hers, but we'll find some of mine. Here's a blackbird I did, just okay, nothing special. Oh, here is where it all started. This page was the subject of my very first PencilStash video. That video is super cringy, but you can go back and watch it. I really liked this page, and since then, I've seen other colorists complete this one, and they added backgrounds to each of these kind of blank areas, some of the spaces in between here, and they were so pretty. It made me super jealous that I didn't think to do that, but that's okay. Here's a page that I started and abandoned. I was very excited about coloring the leaves, and then I think I got scared off by the castle in the center here. The part did not look fun to me. Here's a pretty fox. Now, I just love how Joanna Basford kind of does these animal pages. I did a few of these with this overlay of flowers and leaves. It's super pretty. My bit, just okay, but the drawing itself, super pretty. Here's another one that's a rabbit. I just love this color palette. Something about the bright coral colors against the gray. I just really liked this one. Here's a double spread page, and if memory serves, I did a video on the squirrel, but I don't think I did one on the owl. And I think I used Faber-Castells on this squirrel, which I'm so bad with. I don't know why I'm so bad with the oil pencils, but I am. I know I need to practice with these, but I'm avoiding it. On to Magical Jungle, which is another Joanna Basford. And this book has been great for demonstrating techniques for you guys, kind of utilizing just a small portion of the page, but I really haven't done very big spreads in this one, but let's see what we get. Oh, here's one that I did, and you guys never saw it. Now, I just loved how I colored this one with its kind of greens and purples. I love this little lily pad in the frog section here. And then I ruined it. I did this weird red border with watercolor pencils. I'd never used watercolor pencils before, and I thought, hey, wouldn't it be a great idea to try out a completely new medium that I've never used before and never knew how it was going to work on a page that I really, really loved? Yeah, not so much. Kind of ruined it. Here's my favorite color combos page. Oh, and here's one of my favorites. I had just gotten my Posca pens, and you guys know how much I love me a white Posca pen, and just went to town on him. My favorite part is actually the inside area of these leaves here. Now, in person, they look like they have kind of a glassy, like reflective quality to them. And see, more dots and dashes. Here's a hummingbird page that I did when I reached 1,000 subscribers. I really liked the palette on this page and kind of these triangular textures that I added to kind of the hummingbird bodies here. Another practice page for leaf texture. Now here's a blast from the past. This one I did a whole bunch of leaves in real time for you guys. Now Joanna Basford books are full of leaves. Leaves, leaves, and more leaves. And it's challenging sometimes to think of different ways to color them. So we tackled these kind of one by one. This was a fun one. Now moving into Imagimorphia by Kirby Rosanes. Here's the one color challenge page. All purples, nothing but purples. I call this book the Exercise in Patience book because there is so much tiny detail in this book. And most pages are double spreads too, so it takes a lot of time and effort to color one of these pages. Now this page I actually really like. I used a random prompt and got jewel tones to kind of help guide my color palette on this one. And I really like kind of how cohesive it came out. The background itself is actually soft pastels, and I think the edges are a bit too pink. It's not as blended as much as I would like. Definitely a learning experience on these things for sure. Here's a double spread that I did a part 1 video on, but never got to the part 2. Sorry about that, guys. I really liked the mountains and the trees, but when I started coloring the buildings, I got so bored and I didn't really like how they were coming out, so this one's still unfinished. Now this is the T-Rex page that I did a few weeks ago. I loved this page, but you guys actually didn't get to see the background. I finished the video up when it was still white because I didn't really love the way that the background came out. It's all soft pastel, but then I added gold streaks of glitter on it to kind of simulate meteors kind of going through the sky. Now, I don't know if you guys can see that or not. I took glitter, I smeared it on the page, I let it sit for like 30 seconds, kind of let it like half set, and then I wiped it off in one direction and kind of let the remnants stay. And it didn't work terribly, didn't work great, but it sure was messy. Penguins page. This is another double spread that I gave up on. The water was so labor intensive that I just couldn't stick it out. And honestly, you know what? That's okay. Like the videos that I do are really more or less to show you guys the techniques that I'm using. So if you guys are getting something out of the videos and maybe applying those techniques to your own work, then that's really all I care about. And the moment you've been waiting for, my beloved Romantic Countries series of books. Now, in this first one, my daughter did a whole bunch of pages in this book before I kind of got into the whole YouTube channel thing. So we're just going to skip to my pages. And here's my camping scene. And this is another one of my favorites. I have a hard time depicting objects in night scenes. I never seem to shade them enough to make them look like they're truly lit for a night scene. But this one I really, really liked. Here's another super, super early video that I did on PencilStash. It was a 5-part series. That's kind of before I realized that you guys don't really want 5-part series. You want 1, maybe 2 in a pinch, but that's it. But this one, I really, really wanted to do a true tutorial on every step of the process. I probably could have pushed it to 6, but cut myself off at 5. Some French pastries. I really liked how the blueberries came out on this one. All right, moving into Romantic Country's second tale. All right, here is a downright ugly page that I abandoned halfway through. My color palette really got away from me on this one. I don't remember exactly what happened. I think I might have been kind of flying by the seat of my pants. I didn't really kind of plan out my colors initially, and this is what happened. And so, I really try to make a habit out of planning my colors, at least the main ones, beforehand, so that I don't kind of have this happen to me again. But I kind of like how these hats came out. Here's my Galaxy Owl page. Now, this background was a complete experiment. I had no idea how it was going to turn out. And while I was coloring it, it looked atrocious. Absolutely atrocious. And I could have very easily given up on it, but on this one I pushed through, and I'm glad I did because I actually kind of liked the way that it came out in the end. Here's one of my Halloween pages from last year. I shaded the oranges with blue, which is a great shading trick, using the opposite color on your color wheel. And I kind of like how this one came out. Here's another failed Faber-Castell attempt, turning the page quickly. Oh, here's my Easter egg page. Now, this was a color palette that I planned out to the T, and I could have easily gone awry, but it didn't. Now, there's so many little details on these eggs that I wanted a diverse color palette just so that, it wasn't colored with, 5 colors. It needed diversity, but I still wanted them to look cohesive in the end. So I think this one turned out pretty good. Failed attempt at the Diagon Alley knockoff. I could come back to this one later, I suppose. I don't think I liked kind of the blues next to these oranges and greens and just kind of gave up on it. Another failed attempt. Ooh, here's another night scene. I drew in this moon and the tree silhouettes in the background. They were not there originally. And this is another one of my favorite pages. And see what I mean about the color transfer? Now, this book is incredibly susceptible to this happening. So I always spray my finished artwork now with a matte fixative so as to keep this color transfer from happening. Here's a little house we did to practice texture on the tree bark. And I do like the way that this one came out. I think it's a little bit too bright. I kind of wish I darkened it up a little bit. Another abandoned page. I liked this. I don't know why I didn't finish it. Treehouse page. I really like this one for some reason. Coloring all these little accessories across the page was really, really fun. Except for book bindings. Book bindings are not fun. Here's half of my birdhouse page. Not my favorite. I tore out the other half because I gave a fan the finished artwork that was on the backside. It was that witch's hat page. So this one's just kind of half of a double spread right now. Here's a completely failed experiment. I was trying to utilize a predetermined color palette and really drive home sort of a painterly look. And yeah, it didn't turn out so well. So I moved on. Now, this little cottage was super fun to color. I remember spending such a long time on the many layers of these roof tiles. Now, I really like how they turned out, and I think that it was worthwhile, but man, lots of time, effort, and layers on this one. Little church, very simple but cute. Ah, the dressmaker double spread. Tons of hours, tons of work and color palette planning went into this one too. Now, this video series I think was 3 videos long, too many, but the spread was a beast. I do kind of like how he shaded the wallpaper to almost look pillowed. I think that this one kind of came out nice. Here's the country store double spread that I never finished. This one was all about the little details. And actually, I just had a YouTube commenter asking about this one, and I totally forgot about it, actually. I don't know if this one will get finished. Don't know if I'll ever come back to this one, but this one was definitely a good experiment to kind of color all those little details that you don't feel like putting a lot of effort into, but definitely pays off to pay attention and really take your time on those. Christmas and glitter just go together, don't they? This was definitely during my experimental glitter phase. thought it'd be fun to add some gold glitter to these pine cones. And I really like how the architectural details came out on this page. They really pop. I also drew in and shaded these bricks here at the bottom. And last but not least, the Romantic Country third tale. Here's an abandoned page that I used to demonstrate how to color wood floor texture. Now the floor here originally was completely blank, no lines, no nothing. So we drew this in. Now I don't like leaving blank spaces. I don't like coloring big blank spaces. They're just kind of boring. And also it's really hard to kind of hide your pencil texture in them. And it's more fun to add in something unexpected. Here's the page I ultimately ended up doing when I had that predetermined color palette and was trying to create that painterly look. Don't love it, don't hate it. Another half abandoned page. I can't remember why I abandoned this one. This one was kind of turning out cute. Here's a page I did a long, detailed tutorial on how to create brick texture. And originally this wall, again, was completely blank. So we drew in all these bricks and we colored them, tried to make them three-dimensional, look kind of realistic. So feel free to go back into the PencilStash catalog if any of these interest you. These are mostly from old videos. Oh, I was having a major off day on this one. I liked the color palette, but my coloring was just so flat and boring. Had to go. Here's another texture video. I created the vertical planks on the wall here and shaded them with kind of a gray wood grain. It's subtle. Might be kind of hard for you guys to see this, but I liked how this one turned out. Half-finished classroom page. I did a tutorial on how to create kind of the chalky texture of the blackboard here, and then I just didn't feel like finishing it. More glitter. Glitter works great on snow to give it some interest, because otherwise it's kind of hard to give snow detail. It's white, you could add in some gray and a little bit of shadows, but the glitter I think really worked out well here. I think this page was actually another Crayola challenge too. So nothing but Crayola colored pencils on this one. Another abandoned page. This was the original Crayola challenge that I put aside. I can't remember why. I kind of like how the trees came out looking like Aurora Borealis sky. Kind of cool on this one. I think I was just kind of testing out the Crayolas and kind of learning how best to use them. Oh yeah, and I drew in this lamppost too. That wasn't there originally. And that is it, my friends. That is just a small sample of my many coloring books. So remember, if not all your coloring pages turn out, it's okay. Don't get discouraged. It happens to us all. Try and try again. Thank you so much for watching today. If you enjoyed this video, hit the thumbs up button and subscribe if you're new. Check out the PencilStash channel to watch more tutorials, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!